All right. Second part now. Let's hit the button for the button. Okay, let's see. What are we gonna find inside here? What does my man have for me?
Halt! Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters.
Okay then.
This place does look pretty heavily guarded. Guess that proves that Nervalet's files are really secure.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
Okay, sorry, boss.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep. Paimon can tell.
If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy, so please leave if you don't have a reason to be here.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Linny.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird. You must be Linny's attorneys. It's all coming back to me now.
We're
That's
here
great.
today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Took you a little while, huh?
Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust us.
Mm-hmm.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
Thanks so much.
Good. Let me in.
Please come in.
Damn, this is an office. Looking good as fuck in here.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalet. We only lied to get in because we didn't know any other way.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
So you're not mad at us?
Hydra Man is not mad.
A man called Vacher. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
Who knew that Nervalet would be so easy to talk to?
Is he really looking?
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vacher has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
Traveler, what if...
Is that so? All right then.
That was just a
Thank you
dream.
so much, Monsieur
Damn,
Nervalet.
she's so
We'll take our leave
disappointed.
now.
Ahem. Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Nervalet? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just express some tendril of regret? No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. You only said those things because you felt like you should.
Ooh.
It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear. If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop to the duel?
Damn, them tits are animated.
The
Wow.
power to stop him from throwing his life away. Why did you just let him die? Despised and hated by all. Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions he still owes me answers to. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
Man's face has no change in expression.
Sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone. It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything. Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice. My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
That was deep. Damn it, this happy ass background music after all of that. That's jarring.
Navia, are you okay?
Does she sound okay, Paimon?
I'm fine.
That's a lie.
Rain. It's raining.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today. How strange.
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was also raining.
What is it? Did you think of something?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain could have affected the crime scene? That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value. Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water and then got washed away with the rain? Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained what he saw to the authorities.
The plot thickens.
Really think I found a true genius for a partner. You're completely right. How did I not connect the dots earlier? All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind, we'll get to the bottom of my father's case for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna make progress for sure this time.
Do you want to go with me now? Or...
No. Let's go right now.
Great.
Teleport. Whoa.
You're so happy just to see the sun again. How childish.
Okay, thanks, Scar. I didn't ask for your input.
Too slow.
It's really nice down here.
What a huge ship! Why would a ship be anchored at a place like this?
I don't think that ship's going anywhere.
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters.
Never mind then.
My father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common.
Fair enough.
A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery,
No.
opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers. But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself, she's been convinced.
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base, our home.
Oh, it's down there. Can't resist the urge. Need to get it now. Yeah, we can deal with the rest of this later. I really like the music in this place. Gonna have to add the album for this region to my collection when it comes out. Climb the ship, climb the ship. Climb all the way to the top of the ship.
Quit following me.
Of course, there's a cat down here too. It's Bowler Hat Man again.
Apologies for the wait, Demoiselle.
Oh, Fedora
and
Hat Man
our
again,
most
rather.
important partners. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Maloose? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Yo, we're out here drinking crack.
Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance. As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant. The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate.
This has been so dark in the story so far.
With Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out. I'm finally headed towards the truth.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with zero warning. I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth. On that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as your and your father's butler, I must still offer a word of warning. Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice. Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory,
Always listen to the butler when the butler speaks.
A new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives. There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
Yeah, that's not happening. We need a plot.
What he wished for? Then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that. Ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Navia.
Fucking applause, my girl.
Indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable.
She said, give up.
More importantly,
Me?
demoiselle,
Nah.
I think you're also ready.
I can
to
respect
take
it.
this on.
So you do know something else, Malus?
Yeah, drop the deeds, bro.
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case. But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness.
Damn, he had that chakra disease.
He
Had to write him out the
more
plot
than
real quick.
5 years left to live. And the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety.
So it just accelerated his
5 years
death.
was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once he passed
Fucking
away,
hell.
all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina de Rosula about the details. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right, so nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
Damn. All that pride.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
Just up the guilt she felt by like 19,000%.
What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
Story is on point so far.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight? No. He might have set up everything precisely because He never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my life without a care in the world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, he really didn't need to give me an easy way out. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where synth is produced.
Ooh.
Essentially, it's the enemy's headquarters.
Let's go.
Threatening the enemy, boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming in?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades.
Let's go.
There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture. But a single visit to their headquarters will be tantamount to a formal declaration of war.
To be fair, that happened
Worst
a
case
while
would be
ago.
that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
That's true. Seems my father really had no choice. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with the disappearances case.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's will.
Always listen
I've
to the
always
butler
been
when the
willing
butler
to take on
speaks.
any kind of risk for your sake.
Man's got that knowledge.
Considering my relative lack of ability, I've spent my time keeping secrets, performing basic investigations, and waiting for the right time to come.
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you discovered anything new in the past few years?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an informant planted here. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the synth vendors. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people. The first is Florent, Spina di Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means that he was someone who understood Boss really well. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans.
So it's the inner circle,
thus avoid
niggas.
capture this whole time. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
Damn, she calls him
It's
uncle.
a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence.
Kind of crazy if it's him though.
In the beginning, they were only reselling.
Please tell me the
some
last
daily
guy
goods,
is the
but
fucking
now
glasses
they're
guy.
One of the richest guilds around, with a lot of business connections in the city.
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
The final suspect is Thierry.
Oh
The
no,
man
that's not him.
responsible for coordinating information.
It's a
between
whole Fed,
Spina di
though.
Rosula
Probably
and the
him.
guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always
Does look
plan one
incredibly
step ahead.
sus.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's almost too hard to believe.
Nah, it's
If you
low-key
want to
always like that.
investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry.
There's always somebody sneaking.
Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
Of course. And thank you, Malus. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my duty.
Always trust
And
about that.
before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
Aw, thank you so much, Malus. You really are the best.
He's a goat.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and for all.
Oh, so we're gonna go visit the fam first.
It is settled, then. Please excuse me, and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
That kid looks so angry. Yep.
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the two of you.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain that comes with losing a father so needlessly.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you. And to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever bring himself to shoot Jacques.
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought Mora was everything. So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us. I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the conclusion I eventually came to.
Damn.
Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible for me to hate him for what he had done.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa was a really good man. The best in the whole world.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons, regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword. He must have done so to give you a better life.
Oh.
I really wish that the animations were a little bit more
for
emotive,
everything you've
because
told
down
me.
this dialogue though.
I will definitely find the truth. The current state of things is not something I'm willing to just sit back and accept.
Thank you. I'm very grateful to hear this from you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
Oh. More investigating to do.
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florent should be nearby.
Greetings, boss.
Let's see what he has
How
to
may
say
I
for
be of
himself.
assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House? Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callis was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callis was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation. Reason being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned, do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callis ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys? But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us? He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
Possibly.
About that, Malus told me a thing or two. So, I think I can understand why he committed to the duel. I'll tell you everything once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then I'll leave Mr. Callis's honor in your hands, boss. And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callis the Unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callis, even after so many years have passed. But it was Mr. Callis's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today, no matter what others might say. He'll always be the man I respect the most. And he'll always be my boss.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth. You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
He seems kind of loyal. Gotta do some teleporting. Well. Alright, Fedman.
Thierry, it's me.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House.
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson.
God, he's so sus.
Fantastic job running the town. Building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way.
Yeah,
It'd be
nah.
next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two friends of yours? You, here for some formal business?
Yes. These two are my partners. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Lenny's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old case.
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the mecha serial numbers and send them after me.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost
can't just scratch it
impossible to
out.
keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be
Indeed.
staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guards.
Sure. Maybe it's not him.
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say Navia's looking for him.
Sure. I will let him know right away.
Oh, man arrived instantly.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress.
No, unks, please, man.
I talked to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House. I'm sure you saw everything too, right?
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive.
Not really, I just pressed buttons until it worked.
Her own game on her own turf. I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Jeez. It's just
Poor
how
Paimon.
Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and...
We were attacked on Arrhenius by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Alas, it seems
Yeah,
things are heating up.
I wanted to fight the
Peace
robots.
that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
So man heard one gunshot.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. See if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever need Mora. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
Where the hell? How did you get up there?
Too slow. Behold!
We've talked to all three suspects, purely based on their conversations with me.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many years. Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able to find.
Sometimes you gotta make the breakthrough.
But where should we start? Ah, you're right. Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance. That makes sense.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice before he left home that day. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father. Had he refused, he and his family's lives would have been forfeit.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Oh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission, he'd be of no more use to his boss.
So
what happens in the hood life.
Sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the order and seek protection from my father. Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory. Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since, it's quite possible. But who among the three suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex?
He didn't really sound like the type. He can launch them, but you can't really control them. And then this brother, man, owns like a thing restaurant. I still think it might be him.
Huh. But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the Mecca.
I feel like he's the only one that's close, but like, who else?
That kind of tampering under.
Yeah. If the Mecca were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
So, is it him?
Florent? But Spina.
So you're saying he's
exactly. He can't.
Oh, so it is the Lost Donny. Yeah, his space in the memory was a bit of a madness, to be honest.
Uncle Marcel, and with funds from the Confrérie, still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of Mora and energy to fight his own synth bit? Who could it be?
Oh, there's one missing one again. That's always important.
You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is indeed
Not
the most
Unks, man.
suspicious of them all.
I didn't want it to be him.
suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these three, did he?
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered. When he laid out his case for the three, the rationale he gave me made a lot of sense as well. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate us, and possesses significant intellect and foresight. Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes, Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky. But we don't have any other options right now. We need far more solid proof before we can hope to go charging in on our enemy.
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Huh? Aren't you the...
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy about this one?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
Oh shit, it's time.
Is that someone you know?
Yeah, we know him. Maybe even a little too well.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearance.
That doesn't make sense. This man is like 24 years old at the most. How is that possible?
None of our investigations have had anything to do with him.
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigations.
Man, they dumping on the Fatui hard this update.
They'll think they've already found the culprit.
It can't be Child. He's too young for
It'll be a lot harder then to clear Mr. Gallus' name.
I understand. Well, partner, what do you think we should do? We still haven't found any conclusive evidence. Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Just as expected of my partner. Since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, the culprit's attention will be focused on Irenaeus, leaving his home base wide open. You're right. This is our best opportunity. All right then, let's do this. I'll stall them at the Opera House and charge Marcel as the true culprit. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make it back in time and hand the decisive evidence to me.
We'll help you, just like you helped us in Linny's trial.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
I don't trust either of you now.
Malus, Silver, get here?
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that you might require our assistance.
Maybe
It's our hope
this is one of those times where the butler did it.
be bolstered with the two of us by your side.
Thank you so much.
That's see you then. Now that Navia has set out for Aranias, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over.
Quit following me. Too slow. Squall and Fury.
Okay, and then there's another. Right, okay. Stop getting distracted. Finish the story mission.
According to Malusa's info, the synth production base is underwater. Let's go and try to find the entrance. Finally found it! Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. It sure doesn't seem out of the ordinary at all.
Hydro domain. Let's go.
You're right. An important place like this is bound to have a ton of protective measures and mechanisms. Navia's probably arguing up a storm right now to stall for us.
It would appear that I must repeat my question again, Mr. Tartaglia.
Tartaglia.
Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate.
This man's urge to fight has conquered him again.
In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that champion duelist Clorend, right? I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received.
This man is literally just Ginger
When
Goku.
I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey, don't you understand? Your
Child does not care. This man does not give a fuck.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too?
This man wants to fight them both at the same time. Oh my god. Yeah. Sit your ass down, bitch. You can't do shit. You look like a support.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly, and we have made very little progress.
Child has an IQ of like 12.
Everything from the very beginning again. The goal of this trial is to determine the culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got the wrong man.
Huh? What's going? Why is she interjecting again?
Don't disrespect my girl.
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui harbingers.
At least pick one of the ones that's older.
Interrupted the court proceedings.
Like Dottore would make more sense.
Tolerated your behavior last time because you were able to provide the court with a key eyewitness. But that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well charge you with contempt of court for your interjections.
Fuck your court.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics? We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here, and if my charges prove true...
Oh, a young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How
The lack of
fascinating.
light in his eyes, I
Well,
swear,
I've
just
gotten
sets the
half bored
tone
to death
well.
by all these rules and procedures anyway. So I'll take
Crazy
you up
boy.
on that offer. So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia.
That person. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Huh? What confrérie? Never heard of them in my life.
Down that character model though.
I've heard of them, but
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charge, and if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may...
Yes.
Bored.
In that case,
Bored.
I declare the charge to be valid.
Bored.
Members
Let
of
me
the
play the
guards,
domain.
Please contact Mr. Mr. Marcel, you will not...
Apologies. It all just happened so quickly.
I mean, he's got the
I
age.
still haven't figured out what's going on. I think an attorney won't be necessary.
Very well. In that case...
I would like to take everyone back only through elucidating what really
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your father? Come on, why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember both you and I only ran to the scene when we heard the sound of a gun.
But there were 2 gunshots though.
That's enough to make me a suspect. Wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a suspect as well?
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't even have the...
exactly correct, Your Honor.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard.
Yeah, why did this man only hear 1?
When the guests arrived at the scene,
Or am I
they
just
found
misreading
the
it?
primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance Jacques lay dead from a gunshot wound. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel. Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarande in the ensuing duel, and soon succumbed to the injuries. These are the known...
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even so, Jacques still had no reason to pull the trigger. In truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father when my father seized the gun from him. After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water, erasing all traces of him from the scene. Thank you for the summary. However, we should read this.
Oh no, that's this one. Or is it not?
Something's not right. Something. Something's not.
I actually don't know what I'm supposed to pick here.
A pile of clothing was found, but now it is clear since it was raining that day. this assassin first shot. The testimony of the victim's family. However, unfortunately for Jean, realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading every...
Eventually. Damn, it's still so... so layered.
Ah, so that's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something is...
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respect.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being...
Ah, but I think I agree with everything Navia...
Then, may I ask some... One, do you...
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where we should be able to find. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons.
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would consider this to be a reasonable investigative direction.
Why do I feel like
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Probably.
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. Then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been
I thought about this too. And the dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important secret for the true culprit of the serial disappearances case. My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he at that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee that going forward with the truth would allow the culprit to be brought to justice. What was certain, however...
Boss once told me that there was...
What? If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. All of us would have stood to lose our lives. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were in the right. But what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect anyone? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice, Spina di Rosula would have had no reason to exist. But by staying silent, we retained the ability to deter I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot, and restore my father's truth and honor back to him.
So, you mean to say, your father intended to die in the duelist's ring?
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent, Clarand.
She won't even look her in the eye.
Your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. You don't have to do anything for my sake. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand, you should tell us the truth about his sacrifice.
So...
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives.
Bitch got a kill.
In my line of work,
Got a kill streak going.
I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined, others passionate, and some even manic and twisted. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to die. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the ring alive.
Dark.
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions. It appears there really are good grounds to reopen this case.
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case and the serial disappearances case.
Right? What she said was fascinating.
Wait, weren't they just talking about this?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are... In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots. And, at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reasoning, I still can't help but find it a little preposterous. I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most endearing traits.
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both events? On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely monitor the place?
Did you lot have the tech for that?
Know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further investigations, until I'm the only one left on the list. Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder from a girl you see as your own daughter?
This is very dramatic.
But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not... Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyways.
Let's see.
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women.
I don't know about that.
Risk action with nothing to gain. In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when
He's from Snezhnaya. Ah! It just makes you look more suspect, bro.
But the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
I do apologize, Demoiselle.
Oh
This
wow,
was my mistake.
my guy.
No, it's not.
Is there
Where's the
anything else
deeds,
you'd like
bro?
to say? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snezhnaya.
It's the fact you're from Snezhnaya, bro. I don't trust you.
Records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable anguish in your heart.
Though he does sound genuinely offended.
Seems like she got the wrong guy.
At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father, but aren't you going against all of... He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious.
How'd you know that,
instead of
though?
dwelling only on your own feelings. Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into things, you'd have met most of his expectations.
This isn't just about me, and it never has been. The biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the truth. While that same agency has long been taken from them, the people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who suffered tragic ends due to their sense of justice. Many people's images are flashing before my eyes. And whose image is it a man named Vache?
Huh.
Oh, he knows who he is.
I'm merely surprised.
He knows who he is.
I was waiting for you to say that.
That was a plan all along. Alright, finally we can play the actual mission. I look, he got drawn into that. These cool mysteries, like, actually really cool. Oh, we got Roblox.
Swollen Fury.
The floor is going up.
Yeah, no shit, Paimon.
Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place.
Quit following me.
Is there anything over here? No.
Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way.
I mean, I have a way, but,
Take a look around.
you know.
Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up.
Water is doing a turning thing. Raising all the water up now.
The water level is rising. Now we can swim to the top. But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
Gotta raise the water level again.
Teamwork is dreamwork. Here comes the catch.
Quit following me.
There we go. Open thy door.
Now the path is clear. Let's go.
Too slow.
Oh, there's something in here.
Quit following me.
That's a boss arena. I know a final room when I see it. Or a close to final room at least.
I will have order. Stabilize.
Everybody stand back. Quietly now.
The wind rises.
Damn. So much for that. Nothing but mechanical fodder. Lost. What the hell? What manner of connery and fuckery am I gonna find in here?
Though, as expected, the mastermind isn't here. That's right. What's all this? Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too, but... What? Huh? You mean the girls from the cereal? And then they were... And all the boxes of things. These names.
Dark. Man. Whose laboratory is this?
Whoa. There's so much synth here. And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the waters of the primordial sea. Mixing in progress. Ready to drink? Stock sample? Whoa, there's even fruit-flavored synth?
Why would you even?
Yep, it's super obvious.
Out here flavoring the crack. That's crazy.
What's this over here? Looks like some kind of place for research. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the primordial sea and use his theory as a foundation to achieve a breakthrough. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22, 23...
24? That's a lot!
Sorry, traveler. Paimon will try her best. It's just that Paimon's never read something so scary before. How can someone write something that terrible in such a matter-of-fact tone?
Scientists.
You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's why. Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving?
Oh, so it's probably Vache. He's the guy.
Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case.
He's the researcher.
Vache is the one who did all of these experiments? So that's it. Vache was no victim, but personally took his lover and no, that's not it either. If that's the case, why would he want people to resurface from the water?
There's something there. Psychomaniac Vache.
Let's see what's written here. Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation report on him. Yep, this should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have not determined the old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides by the promise he made to us,
he will still have the upper hand.
He can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. The only option left is to remove him from the picture entirely. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him.
You won't declare war as long as we don't touch Navia.
Oh, seems like
Damn.
we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups. They're all just so evil.
Everybody is fucking evil. What's going on here?
Oh, look! There's an important-looking basin over here, and it's full of water. That means this is where they make all the synth. And that special water is the main ingredient. If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth. But the pure stuff can dissolve a human. Paimon will take notes on this incriminating evidence. We've looked at almost everything here, and it's... yeah. We haven't found anything that reveals his true identity. No wonder even Neuvillette wasn't able to find anything. Whoever it is probably destroyed everything to do with that name a long time ago. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to identify the true culprit. Sure thing. Paimon will... You take that side and... Nothing at all.
Why are you looking for snacks?
Snacks either. Whoa, really? Let Paimon see. Vinier. Isn't that Vache's lover's name? Then you found her diary. Let's see. Aw, it's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. She was so sweet, too. Oh, Paimon feels even worse for her now. So many! A whole page's worth! But they're all crossed out. Was she unhappy with all of them? The final name she decided on was Marcel. Wait, but Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vache and Vinier's grown son?
Let's go. The mystery has been solved for now.
And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vache?
Your daddy is the main villain.
You know that name.
I've Merely surprised.
I was waiting for
I love how we could, anybody could just run in here.
partner. I just knew you'd return in the nick of time.
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of this court?
Silence, Otter man.
Monsieur Neuvillette. Given their confidence, I expect they've found the crucial evidence.
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vacher.
Huh?
We've investigated your lair after your lover, Venier. You even created Marcel as...
So that's it. And with that, Marcel's...
This information regarding your path, well, Marcel, do you know where you went wrong?
Damn.
You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as individuals.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on to the next stage.
Do you really think I wanted to do any of this? Pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the Maison Gardiennage were laughing at me. They said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vinier's death was brushed away by all of you as if it didn't matter at all. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, it's too late now. All those who were dissolved are gone forever.
Man lost his girlfriend and decided to turn into a serial killer.
You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice. Your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people. Venier is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes, I will follow. But I'm not from this blasted place. So I can't be dissolved. No matter what I do.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
Not doing anything to him.
Can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Do you all see? I can't go, I can't follow. So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to try to bring her back? I did all of that, and in the end, that accursed Callus still got the better of me. I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the very end.
This attempt at evil laughter is not making anybody. It's not making anybody like sympathize with you.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! I still need to save Venier. I promise.
I thought this was like a guy trying to get his mum back or something, but like, nah.
Please, Venier.
Look, he missed the plot point again.
All I want to do is fulfill our promise.
These eye cry graphics, though.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr.
How are you planning to charge like a 20-something-year-old man for a crime that's like several decades ago? Like,
I'm actually feeling pretty good.
he still wants to fight.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards so that I might review and summarize the truth behind the serial disappearances case. The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Venier. During an underwater expedition, Venier accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result.
Pain.
Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Venier back to life. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria, and began to manufacture and market synth. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rosula. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their president Callus at a banquet. Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the scene. And just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of Vacher's machinations that he was eventually successfully charged in court. Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case, with the truth revealed to all.
Damn. After all that.
The Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vacher.
I love that graphic.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Vacher is guilty.
I'm still waiting for the time in which this machine calls somebody somebody who's innocent guilty. Or vice versa.
Good. It's what he.
With that, the series.
We really just witnessed history.
Yippee! He's hurt so many innocent people. Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were absolutely.
The day our late boss had always hoped for.
Yeah, you did sick earlier.
You can rest easy now, knowing justice has been served.
Yeah. See, Papa? Spina di Rosula's still doing well with me at the helm.
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' happy ending.
Child, please don't say something stupid now.
Show. I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend to. So, if you'll excuse me...
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
What now?
What now? None of this has anything to do with me.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be...
Oh, here it comes.
...charge before the trial can conclude.
The machine's gonna call him guilty.
Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit stage left?
Please respect the laws of Fontaine. This has always been the rule.
Gonna call him guilty.
Right. This sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right? Let's just get this over with.
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct connection to the serial disappearances case. The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia is innocent of the charges. We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale...
Why are you using the machine's full government name?
Guilty.
Guilty of what, though?
Hey! That's not funny! Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent? What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice...
Oh, this probably has something to do with his vision glitching.
Have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the Oratrice might have just convicted him on general principle?
That's not possible. That's not how it works.
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale is, by law, the final verdict of the court.
But he has nothing to do with this.
Accept the guilty verdict. Guards, please take the suspect into custody.
Oh, but what if, like... What if his delusion ability has, like, primordial seawater in it? That's why it's, like, saying he's guilty.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke.
Maybe that's why his thing's glitching.
You've got your rules.
Yes. Do your thing, my son. Transform. Kind of. Fodder. I just realized his vision usually becomes his delusional. They share a model, so how has he gotten it back now? Great, more fodder. Play your Steam music. Yes! Da, da. Oh, it's not doing the whole thing. Oh, yes, it is! Da, 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 da. Ah, yeah, it's doing the thing! Wait. You can't do that. That goes against the laws of anime. You have to let him transform.
I am sorry.
Man knocked him 2 stages back into his base form.
The rules of the court.
The disrespect. Man got one tapped. Yeah, he's definitely the weakest Harbinger, because Skirmish and Signora would never. I mean, then again, you drew like 1 drop of blood from this man, but still, imagine getting fodderized that quickly. Man said you are not getting your theme song played.
Apologies.
Oh,
This is
wow.
also the first time I've encountered such a situation.
All that
However,
effort.
according to the
One
rules
hand to the face.
in
That's what
Fontaine's
it
court system, the Oratrice's judgment is the final verdict of the court.
That's so dumb though.
All I
What
do
is he
follow
guilty
the
of?
procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are you looking at me? I had nothing to do with it.
Why'd you say it like that?
I don't know what happened there either. Hey, stop!
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either?
Yeah, so are the verdicts My dearest, don't tell me.
Silence.
Just now.
However, given the state of things, I shall give you. And, of course, if you thought Child had nothing to do with everything he's done, all shall be now, having said that,
So she chose to make her escape after all, did she?
Well, yeah, that's the logical thing to do.
So you're saying we should...
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that she actually has any idea. However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment has been incorrect, we will do our utmost to clear his name.
All right. Even though we feel pretty... After all, he's done...
That's weird. But damn, Chow got 1 tapped. That was so disrespectful. This man down here is actually like an Aizen level threat. Man stopped Child's theme song before it even ramped up to the good part. That's crazy.
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop! Traveler! Hey, Traveler!
Marcel! What are you doing?
Stop resisting arrest! Cease, or we'll add another charge to the list.
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vache? I erased all records of that name. So, unless...
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up.
Really? You did? You're sure? The Fountain of Lucine? Then she's been so... Please give me a chance to talk.
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to make requests like that?
Paimon agreed...
This request, is it...
Of course! Wait.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just to satisfy spiritual needs? Very well. I will grant your request.
Your Honor, I fear that...
I will go with him. You do not need to worry about any escape.
This man just 1 tap to Harbinger. This no ordinary guy is not getting away.
Most capable hands.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I still can't get over that. That's ridiculous. Child being fodderized is actually humiliating. That man was my main for like a year and a half.
Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Yeah, and even Paimon could.
Vache.
Ah!
Damn, he heard it too.
Yes, that's it. So you heard it too.
Vinier, it's me.
Vache.
I'm here. I'm here.
Hey, wait! Be careful! Hey, wait!
Vinier, is that you? It's me, Vache. Vinier.
Vache. Why did you come? Didn't I? You look a lot older than I remember. How long has it been?
It's been more than 20 years. All this time, only the thought of... I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get the chance to tell you all of my feelings like this? Vinier.
Bro, your girlfriend is an oceanid.
I really don't know how I could live without you.
But Vache, if you ask me, this world would be better off without you.
Dark.
If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become a top-tier attorney one day. If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been displayed in the Palais Mermonia itself. If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old and died alone, with nothing but the tears on her cheeks. It's all because of your selfishness, Vache. It's all because of you.
You... Wait.
Yeah, it's not your girl, bro.
Who are you?
You're right. I am not Vinier.
Damn, it's the combined spirit of all the girls you killed.
Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed back to the primordial sea. Our thoughts
Your justice is here.
Primordial sea, and we were no longer individuals, but we became one, just as streams of water come together in the sea.
And that's why it's an oceanid.
I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony. I'm Azine. The only one I am not is Vinier.
Damn, your girl's not even there.
But then, where is Vinier?
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tendril of her consciousness is avoiding you. This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. You said time and time again that you'd do any and everything for her. But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would despise you for what you became?
Damn.
You are a liar, a heartless murderer, and a cowardly narcissist.
Damn.
The only thing you are not is Vinier's beloved.
Now kill this man.
The moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vinier's, she has had nothing but pure hatred for you.
Damn. Got baited.
No. Yeah. She can't hate me. Let me see her. Please. Have mercy.
There'll be no mercy for you.
Still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came from the real Vinier. She really doesn't want to see you anymore. But on top of that, she also said that because it's her final drop of pity for you. She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
Vache.
Vache? 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 Vache?
God damn. Hey, yo. That was really good. I wish we had some kind of horror music for that, but that scene is still really good. So, he's fucking dead. Child is in prison. Arlecchino is around here somewhere doing Harbinger stuff. And it's raining again.
It's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
Huh. Well met, partner. I knew something great was going to happen when I woke up in such a good mood today.
Even this weather can't put a damper on the demoiselle's mood.
Does nobody have umbrellas?
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Silver, your voice actor is amazing.
Hey, Navia! It's been a few days. Paimon's already started to miss you.
Oh,
Can't believe I thought you were a bad guy.
I believe.
I'm sorry.
I'm easy to work with and always bring home the bacon. Who wouldn't treasure having a partner like me?
Sounds like you're really enjoying life these days, Navia.
It's just been one thing after the other. I've been making non-stop trips between Poisson and the courts in Sen. Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. We never held a memorial when he first died, since everyone knew that even if we held one back then, no one was going to come. This time, though, everyone in Poisson, and even many people from the court, all attended.
I wish we could have seen that.
So his name's definitely been cleared now.
It's been the dearest wish of Demoiselle all along.
Looking forward to her story quest.
That blasted stubborn fool. I was right to put my faith in him. I'm so glad I didn't give up on the case all those years ago. Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte just after I left the memorial service. Well, maybe it'd be more accurate to say I knew she would be there, and there was no way she'd just let me go.
Huh? So you know Charlotte too? The Charlotte? Journalist from the Steambird?
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina di Rosula, she was all over me. Wouldn't take no for an answer. I believe the story was called The True Heart of Darkness, Secret Tales of the Yellow Rose. To be fair, though,
Dramatic.
it was a really flattering feature. So, we've been on pretty good terms ever since. She was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive piece on the serial disappearances case.
Oh yeah, she told us about that. She's always been super interested in that case, so now her wish has finally come true too.
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical evidence, that you both sound really cool.
Now that's another thing to look forward to.
Charlotte is just pink Lois Lane at this point.
Sure.
Oh, and in other news, I also took Clarand out for a meal.
Damn.
Are you two on better terms now?
I still wouldn't let that snap.
While
I wouldn't
you were
let that slide, but you know.
investigating Vaché's headquarters, Clarand gave testimony on my father's behalf. It was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted to thank her. I mean, there's also no point in being awkward all the time, so we took the chance to reconcile with each other.
Oh, that's great. Paimon also thought Clarand wasn't actually a bad person. It's always good to have more friends.
Anyway,
Also
now
true.
that the case has finally been solved, perhaps it will slowly begin to fade from the public consciousness. Oh, actually, there's still one last thing I need to do.
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave and tell him the truth of what happened, as well as how it all ended. And on top of that, just how much people still look up to him to this day. That includes me, too.
Miss Navia.
Aww.
Sure thing. I'd like you two to share the moment with me. After all, without you, there might not have been such a positive ending.
And in that case, everyone, let's be off. Considering the recent weather, we'll be lucky if we can reach Poisson before dark.
Yeah, you're right. It's been raining non-stop for a few days now. Huh. This is where my father...
Huh? There's someone there already. Wait. That figure. It can't be...
Hmm?
Isn't that Nervalette? Why would the Chief Justice be here? Huh? Navia?
My apologies. I should have asked before coming to pay my respects.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying to say there's no need for you to apologize. I wanted to show my father how much I've grown, but still, I doubt I've grown to the point that even the Chief Justice would feel compelled to apologize to me over and over.
In that case, I will stop apologizing for now.
You really could use some pointers on understanding human emotions, Monsieur Neuvillette. In any case, why did you come to Poisson?
Well, ever since that day, I've been turning a question over and over in my head. Just what is justice anyway? There was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important to humans than life itself. Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic instinct of living things. That they could rebel against their own nature, or consider certain things to be more important than their own lives. Which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful duel. I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. That there was nothing, should have been nothing more important than one's own continued survival. But Mr. Callis proved me utterly and decisively wrong. If not for his sacrifice, the serial disappearances case would have remained unsolved to this day. Mr. Callis made the choice he did for his daughter, for his associates, and for many people completely unrelated to him. And in the end, from a certain perspective, one could say that he did it all.
For the sake of justice.
Justice. A justice that's higher than life itself. So,
Damn,
you
this
asked
story
me
is
why I came
deep,
here.
man.
I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callis in person. I should have noticed all of this much sooner. This regret has filled me with a sadness that has haunted me for days. That high and mighty chair in the Opera Epiclese indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work and perseverance.
Damn.
So you're actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but pretty thoughtful on the inside, huh? That reminds me of Silver, one of my guys.
Sorry about that. Self-expression is not one of my strong suits.
Didn't I just say you don't need to apologize?
Ah, so Navia and Neuvillette seem to have made their peace as well. Let's not disturb them for now. We can wait till after they're done. Paimon's never paid respects at someone's... Huh? Oh, Paimon didn't know that was a thing. But Paimon doesn't know what she would do if she can't fly. Oh no. Paimon... Anyway, Neuvillette is still standing around there. It's not often that we can catch him alone like this, so why don't we go talk to him for a bit? If we can't talk to Lady Farina, we can at least talk to him, right?
This is where we find out that she didn't build the justice machine.
Oh, it's you two. Did...
We ran into Navia on the streets today, so we just followed her here.
I see. Then is there something that I can help you with? Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would be my pleasure to return the favor.
So, at court, the bad guys referred to that special water as water from the primordial sea, but what is it really?
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vacher and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence after extensive research. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its seawater was rather different from that of the sea we know today. Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea. You could say it nurtured much of the life on this planet.
Huh. So it really was where everything began.
Man fully calls it a planet. This Donnie is not from here.
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists on the planet's surface.
That's because it's in
What
the
Vacher
abyss
discovered
somewhere.
must have been some kind of special case, or a remnant from a truly ancient age.
Huh. So that's how it is. Oh, you really know everything, Monsieur Neuvillette. But if that's the case, then why would people, at least people from Fontaine, dissolve in that kind of water?
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life, suddenly reverse itself and devour life instead? To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of this world and its laws. There must still be some unknown secrets around the people of this land. Is there anything that the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of the people will be finally washed away for good? Does that appropriately summarize the version you've heard?
That's right! It was Linny that told us back then. And that about covers all the main points.
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no choice but to confront this prophecy directly. Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon left to the world before she passed away.
A prophecy? Of the former Hydro Archon? Wow.
2 parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels and the ability of the people of Fontaine to be dissolved. We should be more vigilant and stay on the watch for further signs. Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quite seriously. Indeed, she has been collecting information and intelligence from across Tevat for this purpose. If the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left to Farina by her predecessor.
But with Farina being the way she is, can we really trust her to solve it?
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? My apologies. My investigation has still not reached its conclusion. However, I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not rendered arbitrarily.
But you also said you thought he was innocent.
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of justice is integrated into it. Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also possesses other traits, such as self-awareness. Which is all to say, I've been prepared for a situation like this for a long time.
So when Linny told us that he heard a human voice from the room where the Oratrice's core is stored...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. I will add that to the list of items to investigate. In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. We just do not have enough information. Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. She managed to bluff her way through it, though, with her time-tested twin tricks of bravado and drama. While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, we regret to say that the Fatui Harbinger will just have to bide his time in the fortress of Meripede. If we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit, we will most certainly...
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
Does he know of the sibling? Probably not.
Your sibling? Another
Yep,
blonde-haired
didn't
traveler?
think so.
I'm sorry, but I've never seen anyone who matches that description. If she ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure she followed our laws to the letter, and had no reason to appear on the stage of the opera Epiclese. Is there anything...
Damn. No more questions.
Very well. It will soon be time for me to leave this blissful tranquility behind, and return to Palais Memoria.
You really are super busy, Monsieur Neuvillette. Paimon thought you only came here to pay your respects today because you had the day off.
Crime and villainy do not have the day off.
Nope.
And so justice must work around the clock as well.
He's literally
This is
just
merely
Hydro
a case of
Batman.
Justice's work.
All right. Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped.
And that is now done. Until next month. Waypoint. Oh damn, they were ops there the whole time.
Light it up!
This Kingdom Hearts ass music.
Take it and have fun.
Give me my wheat hoe.
Quit following me.
I got a little stressed there, I'm not gonna lie. Where to now? Where do you go? Already anywhere to put you?
Too slow.
Here?
You even want this?
In which case, what do I put you into? Why does Fontaine just have random mechanical dogs everywhere? Is this just the particular breed of Conrian monstrosity they have lying around?
Quit following me. Behold!
Let's see.
Too slow. Wind rises. Unnecessary.
What the fuck? What in God's name are you doing in there? What the fuck?
Too slow.
Why is that dude just in the ground like that? Also, where do you live, my guy? Why is it so far? Oh, there it is. I know that dog doesn't have laser vision. Doing too much. Is it in the air? No.
Quit following me.
No, it's underground. I just have to figure out how to get there.
Quit following me. Jesus.
Must be blind because I legitimately cannot see what this other one is. Oh, unless it's these lot. Yes. Sus. What the fuck was that even about? That had to be a reference to something, because what the hell was that? That roast chicken has probably been picked to death by crabs and covered in sand. Why the fuck would you eat it? That cannot be the conclusion that you draw to. No, that's no way. And the conclusion is just literally about roast chicken. Unless this man's a fucking... No, he's not a vegan because he just named a chicken with paimon, so... I don't know. I'll fucking get there. Oh, God. Well, I've been at this so long, the weather's fucking changed. There we go. Finally, for fuck's sake, that was long as hell. Sub-quest starter.
Too slow.
Okay, there's a lot down here. How do crystal flies work underwater? Okay, that's another talent dungeon. That's probably over here. Is it not that one? Maybe it's not. I don't know, I might have to research this somewhere. I'm a little lost, I'm not gonna lie. Should be the same as normal one, yet it's not. I'm not a fan of this water combat, I won't lie. Wish I could have found a way to do it the way Kingdom Hearts does it.
Unnecessary.
Because this random burst of energy just doesn't feel satisfying. Leave the Otter alone.
Unnecessary.
Oh, 69 of them. Jeez.
Squall Fury.
Damn, those birds got victimized. Alright, we can break stream here. Next time I guess we'll just do some more region exploring. Hopefully I don't get trapped in another one of those fucking mental puzzles, man. It's like 1 in the morning. I'm too tired to be doing all of that.